Yeah.
Was that a turning point?
Yeah, that was a major turning point. At one stage, I did not work anywhere, right? I was telling myself, you know what? If I have to find my IT job, if that's the place I want to be, I will legislate everything else and I'll focus on getting it. I was growing myself, and then I witnessed many situations where I felt like, okay, time and money are the crucial factors in life, right?
Is that a good feeling?
That's a very good feeling, man.
What kind of struggle you had to go through in building that? Did you ever cry?
Heaps of times.
How do you actually get equity from other business?
The way I run the business is business has to run by itself. Always keep the right people around yourself.
If you know your why, you will find your how and what, isn't it?
Exactly, and the best part of it is you will tell yourself, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I made that decision. I was there. I had thought about that. I was thinking about that, and that's what is exactly happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Impact Diaries, where I bring successful and professional people from all walks of life to learn from their journey of struggle to spark, so we can enrich our lives. Today, we have someone very inspiring and visionary. He came to Australia almost a decade ago as an international student. Like many of us, he had a very humble beginning, working multiple odd jobs in parallel with his studies in IT. Since 2019, after finishing his studies, he has worked in top tier 1 IT companies in various capacities and currently working as a network engineer. He's always carried an entrepreneurial mindset. And in 2021, he turned that mindset into action by founding a company called Infotech Solutions. Alongside working full-time in IT, he continued building and serving clients through his own IT company. Nick did not wait for perfect moments. He created his own through discipline, consistent execution, and strong technical expertise. Today, alongside his job, he has built 6-figure asset-based income, a result many find truly inspiring. In this episode, we will explore how he handled the challenges of being a student, managed multiple jobs and finances, and how and why he built his own business in this very competitive IT industry. And make sure you stick with me till the end, because I'll be making a special announcement where you might get a chance to connect directly with him. Without further ado, help me welcome Nick Nabin K.C to this show. Nick, it's really a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Can you please tell a little bit background about yourself so that I know I have said a lot of stuff about you, but if there's anything missing, just you can share. And how did you, decide to come to Australia and how your journey got started?
Right. No, thanks for the great intro. Loved it. So initially, I was much focused into education, and that's where I chose Australia to be my destination country, right?
Yeah.
Because I was looking to get that education, the knowledge, the experience, so that I can actually, live my dream life, live with my goal and purpose. So that's when I came in Australia a decade ago as an international student. Worked many odd jobs, rise from that, finished the studies, and then again rise from one job to another job to another one. And from that, I learned a lot, both personally and professionally. And so I'm much into IT, as you mentioned previously.
Did you always have a dream to come to Australia, or did that develop over a period of time? Like, what actually moved you to have that dream to come to Australia?
Yeah. So my intentions or my dream from the beginning was to be surrounded with the people where I can have world-class knowledge and facilities, right? So that's where I was pursuing after finishing my higher education. And I felt like, okay, if I go internationally, if I study there, the first thing is I'll learn the culture, the experience, and the knowledge, right? And that gave me, actually, compared to academic qualifications give me a part of knowledge as well, but the culture, learning about experiences, that's something different. So which is why I came to Australia.
So basically, you wanted to experience different cultures and learn new things and something really great for yourself and build something, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So where are you from in Nepal?
I was born in Lamjung in Nepal.
Wow.
But we lived in Monamoizu, Kathmandu, if you know the place. So yeah, from there, finished my study from there, and then came to Australia. I used to live in Liverpool in the beginning. Yeah, from there moved to Strathfield, and so here today.
Was there anyone to support you in the beginning? How can you please walk us through a
Yeah,
little
sure
bit
thing,
of
sure
story
thing.
on
Look,
that?
I was lucky enough to have my relatives. They were very helpful. So when I got to the airport, my brother-in-law, he was picking me up from the airport, right? So yeah, I used to stay with them. I have learned from them because they've been here. They know the culture. They know the experiences. I have learned from them. I have seen stuff they're doing in day-to-day activities, how to live here, how to structure your day-to-day life. So that part I have learned from them. Obviously, I had educations to do, right? I have to go to university, do the classes, and that part. So I try to figure out. So I'm a person who pays attention to details. So paying attention to details, seeing how things work, and learning together, and finishing up academic study that helped me to blend together.
I love that actually, and that actually connects me to the question that I want to ask you next. So, how was your study? Where did you study, and can you give us a little bit of background into that?
Yeah, sure thing. So I did Bachelor of Information Technology from MIT under Federation University. I studied pretty much IT, database security, cloud computing under that course, which gave me the exposure to understand about how IT works, not only in Australia but internationally.
Was that a bachelor or master's?
That was bachelor's,
Right.
undergraduate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you finish? Do you think you got a good grades and things like that as you have hoped?
Hey, look, education wise, it was pretty tough because you have to go to work to pay the uni fee, and then you have to do all the assignments. It was tough, right? It was tough, and then the tough part is again making attendance right, 80, more than 80%. It was really tough because once you are off from the uni, you straight away go to work. Even my mates, I still remember they used to say, "Mate, how much work you're doing?" So it was really tough. But hey, at the end of the day, the results were pretty good. So yeah, it was a good one.
Right. You touched upon that you had a bit of a struggle when you were like studying, and you had to hard time like managing the stuff as you were working as well and studying at the same time. So what was your first job? How did you feel about that? Can you tell your a bit of maybe if there's something interesting thing about your job and how did that go? Because was that your first job ever in your life, or
no? Oh, to be honest, that was my second job, I would say. I have done sales in Nepal in terms of doing search engine optimization, but in Australia, look, my cleaning was my first job, right?
Really?
That's where I started. I mean, I love to do the job.
I can resonate with that.
Yeah, exactly. So I used to do a cleaning for a warehouse. Cleaning stuff, collecting rubbish bins, and then making sure the area is tidy and clean. So that was my regular activities during my first job. So that's where I started.
Right. How did you feel about cleaning? Did it hit your self-image? Were you like confident? Did you have a clear goal as you were doing cleaning? How did you feel about the new job? Because we don't expect, or we are not habitual of doing odd jobs basically back in our country. But when we come to Australia, we have to do whatever it's available in the beginning, and we have to grow from that, right?
Yeah.
So how did you feel about did it hit your self-image at that time?
Yes, it did. I'll be very honest with that, because on the first couple of weeks, it was very hard for me to accept it, right? Because as you mentioned, never done things before, and then straight coming to the country, having higher dreams, and then landing to a job where you don't want to be, you really don't want to do, right? Especially with the cleanings. Look, first 2 weeks, I was crying out, right? I was telling myself, what am I doing here? Is it the right thing to do? I mean, am I in the right spot? I mean, will it lead to me to the place where I want to be? I mean, all those questions arises, and after that, I told myself, okay.
Where did you want to be actually?
At that point,
Yeah,
it was all about my educations. My priority from the beginning was educations. Like, okay, I want to study, I want to finish my study, and I want to work in the relevant area, right? That was my dream to come to Australia.
Mm.
But I wasn't sure that we have to go through basics first, which is absolutely okay. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, wonderful. A bit of emotional story there.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
As now you have grown up, now it's been a decade in here in this country, and when you look back, what do you think, like most students who is here having a really hard time managing this study, doing multiple jobs, what do you think that they do wrong, and it impacts their ability to get the professional job and also get permanent residency in the country?
Right. I think this is very important question you ask, because the one thing is all about time. We need to know the time, where we stand today, what's our vision and our biggest why. So if we blend all those things, okay, if you got, let's say limited time, probably 1 or 2 years, you need to plan ahead saying, okay, after 2 years, I want to be in this position. And to be in that position, I have to be here. And the reason I'm here are pretty much these things, whether it's money, whether it's about learning from the workplace, whether it's about the people, whether it's about getting resources from the workplace. So we need to know what we actually need from now, and where do we want to go in the future ahead. So if we have that clarity, and then if we ask ourselves, okay, today I'm here and this is the reason I want to be there in the future. Once we have that clarity, it will be much easier. And the one thing is, I think we need to give ourselves time and that presence of mind, right? To say, okay, look, I need to figure it out this first. I need to sit down, I need to plan it ahead, rather than just running around here and there and not having the much appropriate use of time and energy as well.
So, what did you exactly do as you were a student? Can you take us your, a snapshot of your 2 years? Like, you were studying, that's fine, and you were also doing odd jobs as well at the same time. But what did you do extra that actually led you to, your professional job in the later stages?
So this is my formula too, and this is how I used to live. So my initial thought was always, okay, my big reason, right? I used to divide my goals. Okay, my big reason is to be in IT, to work in IT, to be around with people. And that's my first goal. And the second goal is I have to do what it brings today. Right? I can't avoid this. But whatever I'm doing today has to supplement my first goal. Today I'm here so that I can complete my first goal. So my focus was always on the first goal, right?
Your study.
Yes,
right.
My study, the surroundings, the environment that I will get throughout my, IT environment and stuff like that. So having that that differentiate clarity was something different that I used to have from the beginning.
You're basically saying that you had a clarity of where you want to be after you finished your study, and you actually prepared yourself in terms of, aligning yourself into that direction, right? So did you do any training in terms of, to get into IT field?
Not exactly training. Obviously, most of the IT people will know who are in the IT field. They have to go through 1 year professional course, right? If they have to get their skill assessment done. I know there are other ways, but that will be an ideal way to go. So yeah, I have done that one. And
so you require a skill assessment also for permanent residency, isn't it?
Yes, we need to have that one. Well, look, there are heaps of ways to get the permanent residency, but the ideal way is finish your study, do the skill assessment on the occupations that you have chosen, right? That's the ideal way to do it.
As you were now, as you finished your study, when did you finish that? In 2019?
2018, I would say. Yeah.
Right. And you then definitely started hunting down the jobs, right?
Yeah.
Your job in your field. What kind of a struggle did you feel? Like there's so many students that have studied IT in this country, but they are not able to find a professional job, and they have lost their dreams of not just getting a job, having a career, but also getting the permanent residency in this country, which is so vital for peace and stability, right? What do you think that you did in terms of that area?
Okay, so the first thing is after they study, I did a lot of research, a lot of extra, skills, whether it's doing, sitting on the computer, trying to see, okay, what exactly it takes to be, applicable for the position, right? So we need to have that understanding first, and we should not be desperate. That's the very first thing. If we are just desperate without being prepared for the position, that's very wrong thing to do. I know initially we do that. We comes into emotions, right? We're like, oh no.
You mean like in interview, you don't have to show that you are desperate to get the job. Is that what you mean?
That's correct. Yes.
Right.
Because sometimes we say like, okay, look, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. But the first thing is to get the job, you need to understand the company culture, right? So if you see from that end, it will be much easier for you to understand. Because what happens is, let's say you are hiring me for your company, and if I am the interview, if I'm giving the interview for myself, I need to understand how many teams you may have. Will I be, if I get selected as another member, will I be able to fit within your members, within your team members? Will I be able to, deliver the value that you are looking after? Am I good enough to communicate? Am I good enough to, transport those values, whatever you're expecting out of me? If I have got all those threats, it's not that hard.
So basically you are saying that we need to know about the company's cultures and their values, which are so crucial. And, as you are just graduated, you don't have experience, and the interviewer knows that, right? But they are looking for certain characteristic, the quality, and they're looking at the attitude of these people. I think the most important is attitude, isn't it?
That's absolutely correct. This is the thing. We use this term very often now and then, right? Even if you don't have much technical knowledge, right? Let's say you have got 30% technical knowledge out of 100%. But when you are presentable, if a person can see, okay, this person can do better, that person will get a job compared to a person who has got, let's say, 90% technical knowledge, but do not have that mutual understanding and respect towards the person, towards the environment around.
Yeah.
Then the first person will get the job. So those bit of difference. It's not that you have to be, technically or with soft skills, you have to be fluent enough. It's all about how you present yourself. What's your integrity? What are your values that you're going to bring on the table? So basically just be yourself, right? If I have to advise, just be yourself. Make sure you can, communicate the exact value that you can deliver. And even if you don't know a few stuff, it's easy. Okay, I don't know about it, but I'm very keen to learn about it.
Yeah, on top of that, I would like to add is that just prepare, man. Just because like what kind of question they are going to ask. How many questions can there be? Like maybe 10, 15, 20? Just practice it every day, right?
Yes.
Research on that. And that's what I see. Like people are not actually researching and practicing the questions. And actually, if you just do that, it will probably solve 80, 90% of your problem, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I want to know, like, how long did it take for you to get your job, like after you passed?
Yeah, right.
I think there's a bit of a story, right?
Yeah. There's one good story. I think it took 3 months for me to actually get into the job, right? After I graduated, I feel like, I'll get the job in the market. And then once I applied for the jobs, it was a different thing. It's like, oh shit, it doesn't work. And then you try that, it doesn't work. You try that, it doesn't work, right? And then you miss few interviews, and then you learn from it, right? Like I'll say a couple of months, I said, okay. After went through a couple of interviews, I realized, okay, I should not be running this way. If I do the same thing, I'll get the same result, right? So I'll make sure I will ask every single interviewer in the past what went wrong. How can I improve? So I actually did that. I followed them up and said, hey, look, I know I did not get selected, but can you give me feedback so that I can move further? I really want to do it.
That's powerful.
Yeah. And they gave me real feedback, right? Once I apply that feedback to the next interview, it get better. And finally, I went to a stage where I said, you know what? You are selected.
That's pretty interesting. On average, do you remember how many jobs did you apply? Because I think so many students don't have a proper expectation. Like, from your own experience, on average, can you give us some figure that how many jobs you might have applied and how many interviews that you faced, and how did that lead to landing on the job?
So initially, I was very low in terms of applying jobs and going for the interview. Right? I would say I was pretending to be applying for the roles, like any roles, without even looking into the descriptions, right? And then I used to apply for even sales, but it wasn't related. So very unrealistic roles. Later, I used to apply for very relevant one. I would say at least 10 a day, at least 10 a day. And then I used to go for interview, probably 2 or 3 interviews within fortnights and stuff like that.
Right. So on average, can you say like you've applied so many hundreds of jobs within that 300,
Oh yeah, 100%.
3 months period of time?
In terms of providing applications, applying for the roles, yeah, more than 100, I would say.
Guys, so that's what we need to know. You are not going to get a job in a first shot. So you will have to apply, hundreds of jobs to develop yourself, right? And get that interview experience so that you become way better. And, it's also about timing. And if you just keep applying and working hard and don't give up, you will land in there, right? So how did you get your PR?
I finished my study. I did all these skill assessments, and then because they got a point system, right? If you get up to 100 points, fulfilling the major criteria. So I fulfilled pretty much every criteria. I passed on every single sectors, and then which is why I was on 100 points. So I applied for it. I matched the criteria, and then wait for a bit of time. And then I got it at the end of the day, which was good.
That's wonderful. And Nick, I want to highlight from you a little bit of a struggle that when you passed out, you did not think of working on any odd jobs, and you sacrificed all of it, all your past jobs, and then really worked hard to getting the job into your field. That's why, invested that 3 months, sacrificing all other stuff just to get a job, right? And do you think that played a crucial role in your life?
It did actually, yeah.
Was that a turning point?
Yeah, that was a major turning point. At one stage, I did not work anywhere, right? I was telling myself, you know what? If I have to find my IT job, if that's the place I want to be, I will let it slide everything else, and I'll focus on getting it. So I wasn't even working on anything. I was just by myself, preparing myself, trying to get there. There was only one way for me. There was no alternative way for me. I was getting down in terms of finance and in terms of emotions and stuff like that. But hey, at the end of the day, there's a big goal. And to achieve this, you have to give enough effort so you can tell, okay, I was prepared enough. I was, capable enough to deliver the values, what it takes to be there, right? So I devoted that time just for that one. And then after that, you get the result.
So what we can learn, what I personally learned from that is, Nick, you have to utilize all your resources and energy in actually getting a professional job, right? You have to sacrifice other stuff and actually really invest into that area. Like you can start actually when you are doing odd jobs as well. You can work part-time in your field as well. Like there are jobs available, right? And imagine if someone as a student, as they are doing, odd jobs on the side, but also at the same time, they are applying the jobs and just really preparing in terms of interview and developing the skills that they require and getting a job into that field. Like they will be so ahead, right? Than compared to so many people, isn't it?
Exactly. On top, you're on the spot, to be honest. The same thing, right? It's very simple if you think about this one. The person wants to get the professional job. What it takes to get the professional job. We need to have those values, and to get those values, we have to be prepared enough. We can't just do half-ass, you know what I mean? Just saying, oh, yeah, I've applied for 10 roles. Yeah, but hey, those 10 roles, is it relevant enough? Or did you apply to random ones? You know what I mean? And what is the application asking for? Do you qualify for those? Do you actually match up to 60%, 70%, or at least 50%? Or, you know what I mean? Do you actually match the value? So we need to have those values. Once you have those values, it's not that hard to get a professional job. It will be like another step in life. Those person will highly succeed who already has those values, plus they have got additional values, right? So if they already have those skills, value, traits, what it takes to find that role plus additional one, that means they are already on the top. So for them, getting a job won't be a big thing.
Wow, that's a great message there. Just to focus on one thing, and really, don't settle until you get it, right? So actually, when after you finished your study and you started working, you also started your own business, right? How did that start?
Yeah, exactly. One thing leads to another, man. I think you keep on growing, because my thought process is you have to grow every single day. The day you stop growing, you are not living. You're just repeating, right? So that's how I used to live every single day.
When you say growing, what does that mean?
Growing means whatever is your current situations, whatever is your thought process at the moment, it has to grow. So today I wake up with something different, something different from yesterday. When I go to bed, I feel like, okay, I have seen something different. I have experienced something different. You have to grow. Otherwise, it's just the same thing, you know what I mean? Because even if we talk about the plant will have a life cycle. Our body will grow anyway.
Yeah.
Our mindset has to grow like that.
Yeah.
So it's completely up to us whether we want to allow, to give the permission to grow every single day.
What are the different ways that, a student or anybody, in terms of how to grow themselves?
Yeah.
What are the tools that we can use?
Definitely. I'll definitely come to that. But when you ask me, how do I, switch from, working, having a professional roles to the business?
Yeah.
I was growing myself, and then I witnessed many situations where I felt like, okay, time and money are the crucial factors in life, right? So if you want to leverage yourself, if you want to, work beyond sometimes it's not a complaint, it's just a regular thing, because sometimes the businesses, the organizations have got their limited boundaries to perform, right? Then sometimes you want to do beyond and evolve. And at that point of time, whether it's about money, whether it's about freedom, whether it's about doing extra responsibilities, you may be bounded, right? And then that's where you feel like, okay, you know what? If I can do it here, I can actually serve people as well, having my one business or having my one company. And that's when I realized, okay, I can do this, and I have to do this. If I don't do this now, then I might be late to do this, because this is the right time to do this. So that's when I started to do a business on the side as well.
So basically, it was the freedom, and and as you said, there's always cap in the job that you are doing, and there's only so much that you can make. But if you have your own business, you can have a freedom of yourself, and have something for yourself. You can also take a ownership of it and really take it to another level where at some point you don't have to work for others, and you can actually work for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's when
Is that a good feeling?
That's a very good feeling, man. When you know yourself and when you know your potential, and you feel like, okay, I have to grow this potential. I want to see how far I can go in terms of leveraging myself, and then you actually do it in the action. That's a different feeling. And hey, it's all about the environment as well. Sometimes, you may not like the environment wherever you are, but look, luckily, I never had that situations, but I have seen other people going through that. So initially, I told you about attention to details, right? So before it comes to me, I have seen people, going through various stages and getting stuck. Sometime they'll be happy. People in that area, they will understand what I'm talking about, right? They feel like stuck, and then before it's too late, because you will be already adjusted to the environment otherwise, right? You make your movements, you grow from there as well, not for the bad thing, obviously for the good reasons, because at the end of the day you have got right intentions to do. You want to value your time, you want to respect yourself, and you want to go to the highest potential.
Interesting. I think let's just put this into perspective to our viewers, right? What is it that you do in your business, and what is your current job, to just to enlighten us?
Yeah,
how does that work?
Yeah, right. So currently, I'm working with one of the top tier construction company in IT. So I do regular, day-to-day basis that is expected of me out of my role. That's what I do as a part of role. My business is info and tech solutions, right? So the one thing that I realized is most of the small and medium-sized businesses, they do not have in-house IT. And they are operating their businesses, but their data is everywhere. They do not have any streamlined, processes and systems in place. And especially with this increasing cybersecurity stuff, they need to have a streamlined processes. And that's when I realized, okay, I have seen it. I can do it. I can deliver it. So that's where I came in saying, okay, based on the businesses, I can deliver IT solutions and strategies, and I can implement a system that is secure for them so they don't have to worry about the IT stuff.
Interesting. So when did you start this business?
I actually started registered as a business 3 years back, but I was growing it, slowly. I was growing slowly because in the beginning, you don't put much efforts because it's an initial thing for you, right? And you don't know what to do. So I was growing, all the plans, policies, scaling, building, how to leverage from the business itself. So yeah, that's when I started.
What was the struggle, a real struggle that you felt when building this business? And when you started, of course, it was zero, and then now as you have grown it towards 6-figure income on side, apart from your job,
correct,
which is pretty mind blowing actually. Having asset-based income where of course, right now you have to invest your time, but at some point it will automate, right?
Right.
So what kind of struggle you had to go through in building that?
Struggle was real.
Did you ever cry?
Heaps of times. You doubt yourself at some point as well. You feel like, hey, are you actually doing good? And you're gonna ask heaps of questions to yourself. The questions like, what are you trying to do? Why are you trying to stand out? Why don't you do the normal things like everyone is doing? Are you selfish? Why are you trying to grow yourself? How much you want out of the life? You have already got enough. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Are you trying to be on a bad side, competing with other people? So are you actually a threat to someone? Whether it's a business, whether to a person, whether to anyone, right? So you doubt yourself, and you feel like, okay, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm, overdoing it. Probably I'm expecting a lot from myself. Stuff like that. And then at some point you feel like, I'll give up. I've got a regular life. I can live my regular life at any point. And then on the same time, if you're like, hey, hold on a sec. I need to know the first starting point, right? Why did I start it then? Why did I pursue to start it? Is it just a waste of time coming this far and then giving up on the point? And then
so giving up was not an option.
Giving up was not the option. That break-even point, like you have to give up. That feelings, and at the same time you cry, but you stand up. You stand up. You cry for a day. You cry for a week, but make sure you just cry for a week, and then after a week,
get back again.
On your toe, and make sure you're doing the right thing. So to get that, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of time consumptions. You have to give up your communications with your relatives and a lot of stuff. You have to spend a lot of time on yourself first, on your mindset, so that you can deliver the value to the business. So yeah, a lot of things.
So you went underground when you were like in the beginning of your business venture. You probably, as you said, that you didn't communicate with anyone and only focused on how to grow your business apart from your job time. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. Look, there was a point where I wasn't even able to respond to my family members, right? And then they used to say, hey, what happened, mate? I know you have grown up. And then just because you have grown up doesn't mean you got to bring the attitude, not responding to your family. I used to get things like that. And I feel for them because I was in the same spot before, right? I feel for them. There's nothing bad because they can't see what I'm doing. And then I used to say, hey, look, all I'm trying to do here is good thing. Probably I need some time, right? I'm okay. Hope you are okay. And look, I've got a few stuff to done, which is why I'm doing it. I'm not other than that. So everything else is okay. I used to say them that, and that's all.
Wow, I feel the similar actually situation with my families and friends, right? And why are you not communicating too much? And actually, it's been a while. I just don't communicate with them at all. And now the expectation is set that, okay, he doesn't communicate. That's him now. There's nothing, else, nothing personal. So they now expect that I don't communicate a lot with them.
Yeah.
And now whenever they need, actually, they connect with me. And, the expectation that I have set is is that way. Now I don't have to worry about, if someone here, is angry because I'm not communicating with them.
Yeah.
And it's been good. I think I would like to keep it that way. It just protects a lot of time and energy.
It does. Initially, it drags you out, like say, why do I have to justify myself? But hey, it's really important. If your relationship is true and genuine, they will understand you, right? But yeah, it's really crucial to inform them what you are doing, what you're trying to do, and what is stopping you to communicate with them. Once you say that, they will understand, right? But the level of engagement, the level of your deliveries will be genuine at that time and say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing for this month of time, and I'm very okay at this moment. I will talk to you on this period of time. So I hope you understand. And they will understand. Well, most of my relatives, they do understand.
Absolutely. Yep. Wonderful. And how's your business going?
Absolutely great at the point. So I'm in a scaling phase now. Right. I'm trying to grow my business at this point. And it's doing great at this point because we've been helping a lot of people, a lot of business owners to rectify their solutions. I do meet like clients every single day, and then when I hear about their story, how we have been able to make an impact on their business and their day-to-day life as well, it's so you get that sense of happiness, a sense of fulfillment, right? Because you are helping the other persons, and just because of that, the whole business and his family life rounds are being good, right? So that's a different feelings. I mean, you being a part of a community, you're helping businesses around, right? And that feeling is something different. So at the same point, I'm trying to grow myself and my business as well. So I do always look forward to partners who have same mindset, because the way I would like to run a business is you do not have to suffer, right? You do not have to suffer. You can have fun while running a business, and when you have a right team, right people around, you really don't need to suffer.
Do you think that you have found a right team and you are in the right track in hitting your goals? What are your visions, let's say 5 years down the line?
That's a great question, to be honest. Look, I've got 5 years vision. I have got right people around me, but still, as I'm looking forward to scale, right? I'm looking forward to get equity in the businesses. Doesn't necessarily have to be IT or tech, any businesses, because when you understand the business, right? But if you can deliver values, your expertise, your time and sweat into it, it can pretty much run a business like a business.
How do you actually get equity from other business?
Yeah,
how do you do that?
So equity, there are lots of ways we can get the equity out of the business. The first one could be time and sweat, right? You go to another business, you spend your time and sweat, and then you get the certain person out of that, right? The other one is, let's say you already got a business.
You're working for the business and getting certain percentage of that business. Is that what you meant?
You are working not for the business, working with the business, right? Working with the business, and you get a chunk out of it.
So how much? So you have a contract, Correct. Hey, I'm going to work with you in solving certain problems here, and then I'll get a certain percentage of that share.
Correct. Yeah, correct. It's not only the sales. Sales is something different, but equity is pretty much as you spot. They have got the agreement saying this much value I'm gonna bring out onto the table for your business, and this much proportion I want from your business. And once both parties are happy, right? And they say, okay, no worries, I'll take 10%, 20% of the equity from your business. So that's how it works.
Pretty interesting. Can you maybe give some any one example that strike out, in terms of your, in terms of how you share the equity?
I've been working with, I don't know, probably 5 at the moment, ongoing one. 5 at the moment. Look, I definitely do understand some of the privacy and non-disclosure agreement, but I can give you in the very surface, right?
Yeah.
The business. One business is in the healthcare business. The healthcare business needs a streamlined processes. She's in healthcare business. She wants our help so that she can grow and scale the business. That's where we can make a structure. That's where we can make a negotiation. That's where we can come with the equity. All right. It gives us various options now, whether you want to be a partner.
What are you exactly doing? Are you looking after all of the technical stuff so that they are free to expand their business. Is that
Correct.
yeah?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's one part of it.
Right.
Providing them technical expertise, providing them a streamlined system is just one part for the business, right? Sometimes the business owner themselves, let's say you are a business owner and you are on your 60s or 70s, let's say.
Yeah.
How many hours do you want to work in a week?
Not much.
Not much, exactly, right? So providing other resources as well. Okay, no worries. You don't want to do marketing. You don't want to do any of the negotiation, any of the deals, right? No worries. We got a team behind you. We will give you a team, right? We'll help you to sort out, fix, the problems that you've been going through. And but on just because doing that, we're gonna take this person, or we're gonna do this much from your business. It's all about negotiations and then having a mutual understanding with the another business person.
So basically, it's the IT that you look after because you are expert on that. Do you do HR and business expansion stuff, business development stuff as well, or what are the different areas that you look after?
Exactly. So basically, like I told you in the beginning, the way I run the business is business has to run by itself. If you're running a business, if you're looking after HR, if you're looking after marketing, if you're looking after, every single stuff, if you're looking after what's going in the office, right?
Yeah.
You are doing all the jobs. So that means you are doing a job. It's not like you are running a business. Obviously, it takes some time and effort in the beginning, right? It does take. It's not like you got a business and it's running by itself. It's not going to happen. But if you are doing the same thing,
you're putting the system behind it
over the period of time, it's just a job. But what it do is, we put the systems, we put the people around who can do the things, and so that it can run by management, so that you can have a time and freedom towards it. So that's my biggest goal, and that's how we, run businesses in the future as well.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
sounds hectic, and of course you are going through a lot of struggles at this scaling phase, because this is the most crucial, which is going to determine the next, a decade of your life, right?
Exactly.
And, and let's keep up the momentum, right? It's
100%.
5 clients, and hopefully when I interview or podcast you next time, I want to hear 500 clients.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'd love to have that. And the thing is, because these people are good people. You know what I mean? And then when you understand about themselves, when you're trying to actually solve the problem they're having, the adrenaline you get, the vibe you get, it's different level, and you get that momentum to carry forward and pass the same energy to another person and trying to resolve whatever they've been suffering through.
I actually heard this while listening to one of the podcasts. You don't create energy in the beginning and then expect to get things done. You actually do the job and then create the energy and momentum. Do you actually agree to that philosophy?
I do agree to some extent, right? But it totally depends on what sort of situations we are in and how to get the best out of it.
All right, that's wonderful. So you have a very hectic schedule, Nick. Thank you very much for giving your time. Do you have a fun side of yourself? What do you do for fun?
Oh, fun side.
Yeah.
Right. This is really important, because if we are not having fun on whatever we're doing, you're missing out. I'll say that. Yes, obviously you'll get hard times, you'll get low times, right? And if you don't do fun when it's time to celebrate, when it's time to have fun, you're missing out. So the fun is, let's say, when I make a deal, when a deal is done and it's progressing to another stage, that's the time for celebrate for me.
So your fun is, again, back to work.
Back to work. Look, I don't feel like work, I mean, it's a momentum.
Yeah.
So
great.
Yeah, it's for the fun. Look, I do go to swimming, spa, I do play soccer, I go to gym, and then I do a lot of martial arts and stuff like that. I get the fun out of those, and when I get the time, obviously, I like to go out for the shoppings. Just look after yourself, have good food outside. Get some dinner, go to the fancy restaurant, spend some quality time. Know the market around. That's what I normally do.
What does health mean to you? Why do you go to gym and go sparring? Why would you do that?
Right. Health is super important, right? If you're not rich, if you don't have much asset, much wealth, that's okay. If you have got your health, we've been hearing this a lot, right? A healthy person can think of a lot of opportunities, a lot of possibilities. But for an unhealthy person, there's only one he can expect, which is to be healthy.
Yo,
right?
I love that. Yeah.
If we are healthy,
Mm.
we can think of ideas, solutions, consciousness, energy, and helping others as well. But if we do not have health, it's really hard.
I love that, man. For healthy people, they have hundreds of goals, but for unhealthy person, he just have one goal.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, so let's actually move on to next phase of our discussion, and I'd like to know from your personal experience, Nick. I'd like to ask, how much of your success do you attribute to luck, and how much to hard work and skill?
Hard work, skill, and luck. So I think the first thing is, I will say skills, right? If we have the right skills, if we have the right ideas to perform a job within the given time frame, within the given resources, skills will be handy. If we got enough skills, then probably we can cover up, do the task with the same quality, same result. So skills is really important. And if having that skills and putting into the hard work, when I say hard work, smart work as well, right? Because just having a skill won't be enough if we do not perform, if we do not take it into the action. So hard work is really important. And then look, if we focus on those two things first, luck is, I think, the byproduct.
Absolutely. So you basically hone your skill, and then just work really hard on implementing it. And then over a period of time, you'll be lucky.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Can you please give a 3 piece of advice to anyone, any student out there, or anybody who want to reach to the point where you are right now?
Absolutely. The first one will be, I would say, have clarity, even right now. Whatever.
And how do you develop that?
Exactly. So the clarity will be, what do you want to do in your life, right? Why you want to do it, and why must you have to do it? If you get those answers sorted, right, you will get the clarity. Otherwise, look, everyone is running around, right? And then they do not have that clarity in mind. Okay, what do you want to do in life? I want to do this. I want to have this much of money. I want to have big house, or I want to have big expensive car, or whatever it is. That's very vague, right? That's not the optimal point. So we need to have that clarity. Once you have the clarity, why you want to do it, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and why must you got to do it.
So how do you do that? Do you just keep asking yourselves those sort of questions?
Yeah, you keep asking yourself, and you write it down in the paper. There's a reason to write it down, right? Because if you just ask yourself, if you just answer it verbally, playing words in your mind, you will forget, right? We tend to forget every single stuff, because the moment you get out of your comfort zone or the standpoint you are there are a lot of distractions.
So if you are serious, you write it down.
You write it down. You make it happen step by step. And then you realize, okay, it's really happening. It's really happening, right? And then you keep the momentum and build it, and do it step by step. So that's one thing. The second thing will be, do not afraid to be failed, right? Yeah. So failure is a part of learning. Failure is a part of success. You define your failure. You define your success, right? You do not go outside of yourself to define those two factors, right? And whatever, even if it's a hard time, you gotta grow back. One thing that I have learned from Alex Harmozy podcast was, so he was talking about the resilience. Let's say you're going through the hard times. And then you're losing your comfort thinking, right? Or whatever, your presence of mind, you're losing it. That's completely fine, right? When there's a hard time, everyone will lose that presence of mind. They will be panicking, they will be running out of ideas. And resilience will be defined on that point during the distractions, right? During having that hard time and coming back to that position where you have the presence of mind. Because some people went through the hard times and they keep on going throughout their life, right? Throughout their life. It's very hard for them to come back and say, hey, look, things like this, it happens, right? I got to come back. Some people can come back to the original position within 2 minutes, probably 1 hour. So that time frame, it's really important. So understand, even if you are feeling, nah, it's too late for me, or I've got nothing to do, I've no hope at all, think about it, right? Think about it. It's never too late. Are you actually on that resilient point? Yeah, that thing. And the third thing will be always, keep the right people around yourself. And
Wow.
yeah, when I say that, you will get a lot into your life, whether it's about having connections, whether it's about establishing, quality relationship, time, and life learnings. If you have the right people around you, that's where you're living your life.
I really love it, Nick. So to summarize, guys, basically you got to have clarity first. That is the most important thing. What you want in your life, write it down and keep asking yourself until you find the answer. Right. Second thing is take failure as a stepping stone. You are learning each time you are failing. Right. Never give up. And the third thing that you said, what was the third thing, by the way?
Keep the right people around.
Keep right people around. I can't stress this much. I mean, this is so important. You control your environment and you become the product of that environment. It's as simple as that. So that was a really great message, Nick. And now I have a final question for you. There's a new student back in Nepal and they're not sure if they should come to Australia. What is your message to them?
I would like to break it down because I think it's really needed to be talked by someone. So if there's a student back in Nepal and if he's unsure about coming to Australia, the first thing will be, what's the goal in life? I know it's hard to get that clarity in the beginning of the days, right?
Yeah.
But we need to make it happen because living a country is a very big decision. There will be a lot of struggles. So I'm telling you now, if someone is hearing me from there, first thing first, sit down, right? Think about it. What is the first thing? What is the first reason that comes to your mind when you said, I want to go to Australia, or I do not want to go to Australia, or any countries, right? Because that already comes as a very big a challenge, leaving your family behind, going to a different country, trying to settle down, starting from the scratch. What do you want to achieve out of that, right? There's a life, that's your life you're living at the moment, and you are trying to go ahead. And to go ahead, that's a plan, whether should I go to international countries or not, whether it's about education, whether it's about money, whether it's about any other commodities or any other leverages. So we need to be crystal clear. If we want to achieve that, how much of effort are we willing to give? So it's totally up to them how they want to make it. But getting again back to clarity, why they want to do it, why they do not want to do it, where they do want to see themselves in 2 years of time, or let's say 3 years of time, right? So it aligns with their purpose, right? If they want to get great education, 100%. There are lots of possibilities in international countries. I'm not saying it's always about challenges. But hey, look, there'll be challenges as well. You know what I mean? You got to ready for both sides. I mean, there are heaps of opportunities. Obviously, you'll be exposed to a bigger environment, bigger circles, bigger mindsets, bigger experts, right? And you are trying to play around in that field. So you need to make sure you come in, you know about it, you understand about it from the scratch, from the day one, and know what you are trying to be a part of.
Wow, that is a really powerful message, Nick, that it's the clarity that you have to seek, and it starts from there. So having a purpose of why you want to come to Australia is the most important thing. And then after that, you'll figure it out.
Exactly,
right? Yeah. If you know your why, you will find your how and what, isn't it?
Exactly. And the best part of it is, let's say, even if you're suffering or even if you made success, right? You'll tell yourself, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I made that decision. I was there. I had thought about that. I was thinking about that. And that's what is exactly happening. And you will be happy both sides. You know what I mean? You're not losing anyway because you planned it, you implement it, and you are eyewitnessing the result. So it's all about your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, Nick. Well, great. We are in the last phase of our podcast today. And here's the announcement that I made earlier. So if you resonated with the story of Nick and think that his help or his advice could help you, just drop a comment in this video. If you are serious, I'll help you connect with Nick directly and you can get complimentary advices for free, right? And Nick, I really appreciate you giving your time and energy today. It was such a beautiful conversation and meaningful conversation we have had. And I believe so many people out there is going to benefit from this. And I'm sure there will be people who might, reach out to you. And, the mere agree that you are saying that you will help other people and agreeing to that is a pretty powerful. And I really thank you for that. And to everyone's watching, I hope this episode brought you a lot of values and insight. If it did, please like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll be bringing out more in near future. With that, thank you very much, Nick, for your time. And thank you, guys. I'll see you next time.